Hello, everyone. Welcome to Facebook Live with Mel Rapozo. Today is February 20th, 2019. My gosh, already February, end of February. Going on to the last month of the first quarter. Gosh, geez, time flying again, as usual. Anyway, thank you guys. Mr. McDowell, thank you for joining us today. A lot to talk about today as we wait for, hey, aloha, cousin Rick. Christian and Dexter and Moses and gosh, thank you guys, Clayton. Thank you guys for joining us on every Wednesday, 5:30, Facebook Live, and again on my YouTube channel, Mel Rapozo. I got all these videos archived over there. And hey, Keith and Julie, thank you guys. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us and participating. Feel free to post your comments or questions in the message box, and we'll try to keep track. I got Patsy over here keeping track of all the comments so I don't miss any. I know it goes by pretty quick. And hey, Brian, aloha. So anyway, I don't even know where to start. We got so many things to talk about. The first thing I want to say is, just real condolences out to everyone that is grieving here on Kauai. I know we've had some very tragic incidents, which I'm not going to go into detail. I just don't think this is the appropriate place, but just so that we all go out and send our prayers to all the families that are grieving right now for some very, very bad things that has happened. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I know the paper is covering some of it and posting and writing on some of it, and we'll leave that up for you guys to go read and digest yourselves. But for the most part, we just want to send out our condolences and our prayers to all the families that are going through some rough times right now. Hey, Raylene and Larry Aruda. Honestly, I don't know where to start. I do want to start real quick, only because it was just so upsetting yesterday. I was driving out to the North Shore. I was out on Felicia Cowden, Councilmember Felicia Cowden's radio show yesterday out at KKCR out in Princeville. And I left my house just before 3, and I got to Princeville at the radio station at 3:30. Half an hour I got out there. But as I went out north, I drove on the bypass, and the traffic was backed up all the way to the roundabout and beyond. Just a mess. And, it's just something that we got to really get on our government to start looking at some solutions. And we talk about this all the time, but I tell you, we got to put some pressure on this administration to open up those inland roads and start looking for alternate routes, because aside from that, it's just I just don't see any relief coming in the near future. If we want to wait for the state to implement their traffic plan, which is building that alternate roadway, we won't see that in our lifetime. So we're gonna have to somehow get it across to our administration that all of these fancy dancy projects should be put on hold, and we really got to start focusing on the issues that affect us on a daily basis. People that got to commute every day to work. And talking to somebody today that lives up in Kapahi that has to get to work in Lihui every morning. It's just frustrating, and it's really, really time that we start focusing on the issues that affect our people every day. And traffic is really one of the most serious and severe ones. Hi, aloha, Kimo, Stan, Carlos, James, Karen, Trina, Vitos, Herb, Alicia, and Jan. Aloha, everybody, and thank you. In the news, I don't know if you guys paying attention to the news, but we got some pretty interesting things. I know Kimo posted that we're going to be talking about Jussie Smollett, or whatever his name is, and what a story. He claimed to have been assaulted or attacked by 2 African Americans, yelling out MAGA or Make America Great Again comments, and beat him up. And then it turns out that it was all a hoax. And in fact, he had staged this. He got charged today and arrested, or charged anyway, with false reporting and felony disorderly conduct, which will which could put him in jail for 1 to 3 years and pay back all of the cost of the investigation and the manpower and all of that. I just, and I really don't care. I really don't care where your position is in our government. I don't care if you're a Trump supporter, if you're a Trump hater. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. That's irrelevant to me. It is totally irrelevant to me because these types of cases continue to divide this country and create more hate in this country. And that's what I'm frustrated about. I don't watch Empire anymore. I used to watch Empire until it got way too graphic and just too much for me. But this guy here, this guy is a great actor. I enjoyed his character. I enjoyed this guy, the way he acted. But to go this far and to stage this and the whole purpose of it wasn't for sympathy or any kind of publicity. There was a reason to do this, and it was to create hate. It was to create divide. It was to create one group of people against, or put one group of people against another. And again, take Trump out of this thing. I don't really care, but it was a big issue because they talked about the "Make America Great Again" comment that this attacker supposedly said, and that just, created a rash of criticism and allegations. And you watch the national news, and what I do at home, I flip between MSNBC and Fox News just because it's so entertaining to watch one channel who supports the president and the other channel who cannot stand the president. And again, for me, it doesn't matter where you stand. The bottom line is we're a country, that is our government, and we got to start growing up on both sides of this, on the aisle, whether you're on the White House or in Congress. We got to stop this nonsense of finding some story and then just blowing it up out of proportion, and then coming back to realize that story was not even true. And you created so much hatred in this country. So many people that went out and used this story as their fuel for their fire to go out and trigger more hatred. And then now, oops, come to find out this was pretty much just a scam. And ironically, those two guys apparently were Nigerians. Nigerians very, very much well known for their scamming of Americans. And who the heck got scammed? The problem is the collateral damage that was done in the comments that were made in the media articles. Kimo wrote a great piece in his on his blog that in fact initially came out when the story first came out. It was the accusation or allegation was that it was two white guys that attacked Jussie. So it's just bad. It's just bad what happened, and the fact that he'll be charged with making a false report and felony disorderly conduct. Is that enough? What damage has been caused? The aftermath of this is dangerous. It's dangerous, and hopefully justice will be served. But again, how do you fix the damage that has already been done? Hey, Lola, Rochelle, Tom, Robert, Jay, Sandy, Doreen, Neil. Gosh, there's a lot of you that came on while I wasn't looking. Thank you guys anyway. Wasted talent, creating his own hate crime. Yeah, exactly, Trina. This guy is an amazing actor. He's a great singer. He's everything going for him, but it wasn't enough. He wanted to go out and stimulate the hatred in this country, and he did it for a little while. And now there's going to be a counter effect. Now there's going to be the other side is going to be just as upset and creating just as much hate against him. So when does this end? When will we all grow up? When will we all come to the understanding that, you know what, we got a government in place, and it starts with them. It starts with Trump. It starts with our congressional leaders, our senators up at DC. That's where it starts. And when we cannot rely on them to act like adults, that's what we'll get. We'll get more of this. So anyway, it's just not something that really affects us here on Kauai, but in some ways it does, because the emotions and the compassion. Hey, Fresh, Bobby, my partner Morris, Sean, Tiana, and Sherry, and Pamela, Kuipo, Joe, Corinne, Wendy, Dennis, Fresh, Onishi. Now they're calling out John Wayne on an interview he did in 1971. It's just ridiculous. You're right. People got to grow up. Absolutely, Jay. It's 1971. John Wayne, long gone. And, as long as people are in this mode of crushing other people, they're in this mode of going out and tearing down people's character. And it's sad. And again, for me, it's the collateral damage is what my concern is. The hate that will continue because of this, and then the hate will be countered with more hate, and it's just incredible. Roseanne tweeted that the libs went postal. This guy is being treated with kid gloves. Well, we're going to see what happens at the end of all of this. But again, that's just one part of it. The fact that he committed a crime, he's going to get prosecuted. Whatever happens to him will happen to him. But it's the all the collateral, the external issues that or impacts that were created because of what this guy chose to do. And how do you fix that? You're not going to fix it by when you turn on the TV watching congressional people blaming everybody else and just acting like a bunch of fifth graders on the playground. That's kind of how I look at all of this. And our delegation, our Hawaii delegation, is just as bad. It's just as guilty. Let's come together and get it done. Get it on the floor. Get your issue on the floor. Vote and move on. But there's so much hatred up in Washington D.C. right now, and I don't care. Like I said, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care if you're a Democrat or you're Republican or if you love Trump or not. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we, the leaders up there, who's going to really dictate our future, needs to step it up, and they need to wake up, and they need to grow up, and they need to start focusing on what's important for the American people. So again, this is just one example of one incident, and there's many more that doesn't get reported, that our leaders in Washington D.C. are utilizing for their own personal agendas, and that's kind of sad. So anyway, I just wanted to. Hey, Kayla, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Chris, my sister, a lot of you today on here. Thank you. I'm just going to go shift gears real quick. I'm just going to go down my list because we tend to run out of time on this. 1 hour is sometimes really not enough, but it helps when you guys are responding and sending up comments so we can further have the discussion. Hawaiian Airlines fares, again, in the news, people get along a lot better than the news shows. Hawaii, worst taxes, worst roads, worst schools, highest housing costs, most homeless, and yet the happiest people. It's the people of the state and Kauai together. Yeah, Ed, there's a lot of truth to that statement. But it's, if we don't be careful, we're going to lose that. If we don't be careful and take care of our people, we're going to lose that. Let me go real quick to the other issue before we get back to Hawaiian Airlines. Is you saw in the newspaper that two guys went up to with a gun, threatened a couple in a car by St. Catherine's School, took off. Cops sent the cops on a high-speed chase. And what the heck is happening to this island? It's one thing when all these extra accidents that are happening, people are getting killed, and but what's causing this? It's the problem is people are feeling disconnected, and they're hopeless and helpless, and yeah, we don't help with the homelessness and the issues of affordable housing and jobs, and so there's just so many problems going on that we are in a different time today. And it's how do we get back? How do we bring back that sense of aloha to this island? A bad road stopped the bad guys. I read that and I thought it was kind of funny that in fact the pothole blew out the guy's tire and basically ended the high-speed chase. That's not the purpose of potholes. But yeah, I guess we should be lucky that there was a pothole at that exact location. But It's amazing end to that chase was a pothole. But potholes are causing so many problems and damages and costs to so many of our residents that unbelievable. Where are the two guys from? One from Kapa, one from Anahola. One 23-year-old and a 34-year-old. They got their names in a paper. It's not important on the names, but the bottom line is, these kids, are the picture that I see in the release anyway, it's pretty obvious that they're on drugs. They got that look, and it's probably not right for me to say that, but that's just my observation, my experience. I don't know if the department got the gun, Larry. I don't know. The paper was pretty vague, but or the article, the press release. But bottom line is that these two kids or two guys, no more than likely drugs, and again, I'm going to go back to that. That's the underlying issue in many of our problems is the drugs. And as we talk about legalizing marijuana, I cannot imagine how that will help the situation. So I'm not going to spend time on marijuana. We spent a lot of time on that, but it's just so ironic that we can narrow the cause of a lot of our social problems to drugs, but yet our brilliant legislature is contemplating. Oh, thanks, Carol. They did recover the gun. Thank you very much. Hey, sweetie, and Kalani and Parnell and Ray and Tammy. Yeah, when so many of our issues and our problems can be narrowed down to drugs, that our brilliant legislature would be considering legalizing a Schedule I drug. So, but again, I'm not going to waste more time on that. We did have some discussion yesterday on KKCR about that. I will say this, what's happening in other jurisdictions is the black market doesn't go away. So as we want to decriminalize marijuana and say, hey, it's not as bad, people shouldn't go to jail for marijuana. What's happening in some of the other jurisdictions is that because the black market is still going and the legal marijuana retail stores aren't making money because their customers are buying it on the street, they are now going to the government saying, hey, you guys need to enforce the marijuana because these guys shouldn't be selling it. It's not legal for them to sell. So it becomes a vicious circle, where now you want more enforcement because the people that you said could sell marijuana legally are not making money because the black market is selling the drugs cheaper, because it will be cheaper after the government adds on all the taxes and fees. So anyway, it's just not a good thing. But our legislature doesn't see that. Rather than discussing the issues that are really affecting the people, like how about expediting the traffic congestion mediation on the outer islands? Forget about Honolulu for a little while. Think about us too. Our guys got to go to work. Our people got to go to work. Our people got to go to the doctors. Our people got to go to school. And yet they kind of forget. They kind of forget about that. So anyway, people are frustrated. You're right. No affordable housing, hopelessness, drugs, just add traffic. Yeah, I think you're right. Use crypto. Untraceable. I need all the weeds. I want my sexy time. You and my 87 goats. Oh, God. Not sure what you're talking about. But anyway, 2,000 medical marijuana permits on Kauai. How many others? I don't know, Ed. Like I said, the medical marijuana is one of the things that I support the use of that on certain conditions. But at the end of the day, that law is being abused as well. So we have a lot of people that shouldn't be on marijuana. Medical marijuana are on that, have the card. Our legislature likes to listen to itself. Yeah, that's kind of what happens. They're patting each other. They're talking to each other and convincing each other that they're right and not listening to the people. And I think that is something that is frustrating. So anyway, back to Hawaiian Airlines. I saw a bunch of posts today. High 300s to $400 round trips, Lihue to Honolulu. I'm not sure what they are thinking. And I will, the disclosure or the disclaimer, or I'll preface my comments by saying, this is in no way, shape, or form intended for the employees of Hawaiian Airlines, because they're not making the call. It's their corporate offices. It's so disgusting when you hear Hawaiian Airlines making record profits, record numbers of passengers, amazing, incredible increases in their revenues on baggage fees, and I don't get it. And yet there is no aloha sent back to the people of Kauai or the state that needs to travel between islands for whatever reason, whether it's medical or visiting grandma and grandpa or cousins. Amazing. $385, $426. I paid less than that to go to see my kids in Oregon. We just went to Vegas, and we paid less than that to get to Vegas from Lihue on American Airlines. So I don't get it. I don't understand why the need for that greed. Yes, I understand if you can get up early enough and catch the early flight, yeah, there might be a cheaper fare. But, for the average person who's got to take care of their kids and get them off to school or whatever the case may be, why does it cost $400 or $420 on this combination of flights? But yet, if you arrange your schedule around their low or slow time, you can get it for half the price or even less. To me, that's gouging. Hey, Siri, how are you? I think that's gouging. I think that comes under the definition of gouging and taking advantage of people that really have no other way to get to an outer island. You cannot drive. You cannot catch the bus. You cannot get over there other than flying Hawaiian Airlines. So I think it's terrible. I think it's, I'm sure it's a great business model. I think their shareholders are happy because they're making a lot of money. But at the end of the day, the people that are supporting this airline or supported this airline when they needed the support, when they were having financial troubles, and our people of Hawaii supported this airline, and they're getting screwed. So it's sad that when I talk to people who kupuna who got to get to Honolulu, a friend of mine is just on a flight tonight, in fact, going over to Honolulu because her mom, they just found out she has a brain tumor. So why you do this to these kind of people? Why you choose to do this to our people? I don't get it. So anyway, Mokulele Airlines, I'm sure you saw in the news, Mokulele Airlines sold out to Southern Airways a week or so, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and everybody was, yay, they were going to expand service. And everybody got really, really, really excited about that, including myself. Yeah, they're smaller planes. I don't care. I like small planes. But so they bought Mokulele. And we don't see Mokulele here on Kauai, I don't believe. Anyway, I think they go to Molokai and they go to Lanai, maybe, I don't know, but they don't come here. But Southern Airways bought them out, and we're talking about expanding the service. So I think finally we'll have an alternative. And today they reported, Southern Airways reported that they're laying off 10% of the workforce. So, they came over, got a lot of people excited. A lot of people got excited, and then now they're going to lay off 10% of the workforce because, in their words, they said this is for long-term health of the airline. So, again, I guess it doesn't matter. Corporate America, they're in it for the money. That's their function. That's their role, and that's what they do. And at the end of the day, us, the people, we get screwed. Can you play ukuleles on Mokulele Airlines? I believe you can. I think you can play it on Hawaiian as well, as long as you know how to play the ukulele. Gouging is done by many businesses on this island community. My pet peeve is a $15 hamburger at food trucks with no rest or washrooms and audacity to ask for a tip. The difference is, Kimo, is that you have a choice to go to that wagon. To get to Honolulu, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You got one choice. It's Hawaiian Airlines, and they take advantage of that. And they know that, and they know that we have a lot of people, especially the kupuna, who need to get to Oahu for medical care, medical treatment. We know that they know that we have a lot of kupuna, or kids, for that matter, that have kupuna on other islands. We know that. They know that. And yet they don't have a Kamaina fare. They don't have a medical fare. It's pay it or tough. And that's the struggles I have. When you're talking about a $233 billion profit, when you're talking about all excited that we're growing, we've got the most passengers ever in the history, we're expanding new routes, we're going all over the world, but yet you're not taking care of the people in your hometown. You carry the Hawaiian Airlines name, you carry a Hawaiian, And come on, I want to lay you is the island I'm from. I want to lay you. I'm not sure what that is. I think I'm gonna have to. Let me see if I can. Hang on here. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can. No, I don't know how to. Anyway, I don't know what he's trying to say. But anyway, kupuna is not a dirty word. Kupuna is, as you know, elder, grandma, grandpa. Anyway, Hawaiian Airlines knows. All of their employees know, and their employees are great people. They got great service. Hawaiian Airlines absolutely probably the best customer service in the airlines, but it's not them making these decisions. So anyway, so Mokulele comes over. They buy. Southern Airways comes over. They buy Mokulele with a lot of promise and hope, and then the first thing to do is cut the workforce. So anyway, sad. Okay, let's see where else. We talked about the traffic. Oh, by the way, if anybody's looking for a job, TSA is hiring. I just saw that today. $17.81 an hour starting pay. They're having a huge. Yeah, Trina, I don't know how to delete. That's the damn problem. I don't know how you. Let me see. Can I do? Oh, hold on here. Let me see. Hang on, guys. I gotta try. I gotta see if I can. Oh, here we go. Delete. Boom. No, I wonder how can you get rid of the guy? That's what I'm trying to do. I can remove the text, but anyway, I don't know who this guy is, but I'm gonna try and see if I can. I guess I cannot. I guess we gotta deal with him. I gotta block him later, I guess. Anyway, ignore that guy. Amin, Yapusi, whatever. How the heck do I get rid of this guy? I know you're enjoying this, Amin, but. Anyway, everybody just ignore it. I knew it was just a matter of time before some jackass comes on. But anyway, moving on. What was I talking about before we got rudely interrupted? TSA. They're having a fair up in. If anybody knows how to block these people, let me know. I'm trying. I don't know how to do it. But anyway, they're having a job fair on Oahu. At the Honolulu airport, and so if you know anyone on Oahu that's looking for a job, $17.81 an hour, and I guess after 6 months they get a raise or whatever. But you know what gets me is, I work at a hotel, and many of my friends work at hotels that they get paid a lot more than $17.81, and you're hiring these guys that's responsible for the security of our passengers at the airports, and you're paying them $17 an hour. I for the life of me, I don't get it. Why can't we pay them more? And I know some of you say, well, they don't do much. They don't. Regardless, again, take the personalities and take all of that. It's the bottom line is the function, right? The function of TSA is to keep us safe. Now, sometimes when I go to many airports, I see there's a lot of TSA agents, a lot of them standing around, a lot of them watching the lines grow and grow and grow. I don't know their structure. I don't know their how they manage their personnel. But my point is that when you have a function as important as theirs, and that's what you're offering, $17 an hour, and yet you can go work at a hotel as a bellman and make a lot more than that, or as a front desk person or housekeeper, you can make a lot more than that. So I think when you look at the gravity or the responsibility and the duty of those positions, for some reason I'm thinking that should be a lot more. Do you mean Southwest Airlines? No, no. What I'm talking about is Southern Airways. It's a completely different airlines than Southwest. Southwest is they're going to be starting up here very soon. Southern Airlines is a small airline that purchased Mokulele. So no, not Southwest. So anyway, thanks for asking that question. Though I'll make sure everybody is clear that it's not Southwest. So if you know anyone TSA is hiring, get them over to Honolulu Airport. I guess you could apply probably online, but $17.81, not bad money. But still, when my life is in their hands, I would much rather see them getting paid a little bit more. I do want to go back to the roads. We did talk about the roads and the fact that the congestion is a big problem. But the condition of the roads, I think, is a bigger problem. As I'm now that I'm retired and I'm driving around more, starting to see the conditions, especially with the rains, the recent rains and flooding. Roads are bad everywhere. And the GET tax, which was passed, yes, I didn't support it, but it did pass. Is going to generate a lot of money. I am just hoping that those monies are appropriated properly and that our roads get fixed and get fixed right. These temporary fixes that I'm seeing pop up, these little cold patches that they're filling up the potholes, and I know Larry will be chiming in on this, but this, these temporary pothole repairs is not doing the trick. And when we redo roads, it's very inconvenient. And if you don't know what that's like, try go to Lihui tonight after the road crews are on the road. We haven't seen a lot of paving on Kauai for many, 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 many years. So we forgot what it's like when they repave a road. But, we got to deal with the inconvenience for a little while. It's temporary. But to get that road fixed properly the first time, so that it lasts another 10 or 15 years, that's the way to do it. And we'll deal with the inconvenience of the one lane traveling at night. I know it takes me a long time to get to work. I got to work at 10 o'clock at Timbers, and I got to leave extra early now just to get there. But I'm willing to do that because the roads are getting fixed, and they're getting fixed in the right way. Did you say retire? No way. You're just starting. I retired December 31st, Ed McDowell. I retire. I'm an official retiree from the county of Kauai. Fix the cause of the pothole when you fix the pothole. Exactly. You got to cut that section out. You got to redo the base and then fix it. But no, they're just pouring in the cold patch and that's it. And then the next rain, the patch goes out. Hey, Rhonda, you're a kick. Rhonda, you and Amin should go get a coffee somewhere. I don't know if you guys are reading the comments, but these guys are funny.
I think you can hold it.
How do I do it? I don't know. Tell me how. Somebody tell me how to block these people. I don't know how to do it.
I don't know if you can.
How?
You can do them on your phone.
I cannot. Anyway, whatever. Let them go for today. I'll figure this thing out. Like I said, I figure it's just a matter of time before we get this kind of people come on and get really silly. What is the beautification tax for when we pay car and trailer registration? That is for the beautification. Yes, if we got to remove vehicles, that goes into a fund, supposedly for beautifying the roadways and all of that. So again, it's about the management of the funds. It's about the management of how do we spend those monies in the best way. And I think that's where I'm having a problem with the last administration. Anyway, I'm hoping that this administration will be different. But yeah, you're right. We pay. It's not, again, it was never a money issue. And I've said this over the last many, many, many years. Our problems aren't a money issue. It's a priority issue. Just administrations and have chosen to do projects that were nice projects. I'm not going to say they weren't nice, but as far as a priority, we should have been focusing on the priorities. A lot of people blame the council because the council does the budgets and so forth, but the council cannot direct the administration to do anything. So, hey, Dad, thank you for coming, Chantel. So yeah, I mean, it's a matter of setting the priorities again, which benefit the people, the local residents, not the visitors, not the tourists, but the people that's got to live and work here every day. That's how you prioritize the projects, and that's, in my opinion, just hasn't been done the way it should have. But it is what it is. What do you think about Hirono's speech in regards to the wall? I'm very disappointed with Maisie. She's one of the people that have decided that rather than look at solutions, that we're just gonna throw stones. I had expected her to be the bigger person, the better person. Whether you agree or disagree with your opponent or you gotta just be a better person. She's been very vocal in casting the stones, and that kind of frustrates me because that doesn't solve anything. Number one, it just doesn't, and it creates a wider divide. So yeah, disappointed, but what do you say? I can imagine the frustration that they're having up there in Congress, especially if you're a Democrat. But again, it doesn't matter about Democrats or Republicans. That's the system is set up that way to have everybody's point of view heard and discussed in a professional way and then vote. That's just not happening right now. As far as Hirono and the wall, why not just call illegal vacation rentals an undocumented rental, and voila, you're accepted as legal. Many are trying that. I can tell you that was the whole attempt back in 2008 when the TVR ordinance was passed. It was, if you can't beat them, join them. That was the mentality. The state is looking at taxing illegal vacation rentals now and bed and breakfasts because they want the money. That's not going to fix the problem, right? You go after the problem. The problem is illegal vacation rentals. You go after them, and you go after them hard, and you go after all of them, not a few. You don't pick and select which ones you want. You go right across with the big brush, and you get rid of all of them. That's the answer to that problem. But to start even thinking about let's make them legal because they're doing it anyway is crazy. That is like the most pathetic justification for a law ever is, let's make it legal because everybody's doing it. And that's again, going back to the marijuana, it's kind of everybody's smoking marijuana. We should make it legal. Well, a lot of people doing ice, a lot of people doing heroin and cocaine. Should we legalize that because we cannot enforce it? When was the last time you saw the enforcement people down at the ports or at the airports? How many enforcement agents do you see down there? I'm talking feds and state or everybody at the commuter terminal when these private jets come in at night. I work at the overnight at Timbers, and we're right at the airport. And you'd be surprised how many planes are flying into this airport at night. Blows me away. Yes, we have the 2 or 3 cargo flights that come in, but the amount of private planes and jets, little ones, big ones, coming in at night. Why aren't we there to welcome them to Kauai with a drug-sniffing dog? Why aren't we there to welcome them with TSA type of security? How you think they're coming in? How you think the drugs are coming in? It ain't coming in from the southern border of the United States of America. It's coming in from our boats, our ports, and our airports. So, let's go. Let's go enforce it. Let's go break the supply. Take our neighborhood back. Illegal rentals need to end. I mean, yeah, you're preaching to the choir. I got to tell you. There's so many opportunities for enforcement, and we just never did it. And while I was on the council, I actually did a resolution for an audit of the planning department because they weren't enforcing. And I was starting to think that, are these guys all in it together? Is the corruption that thick that we're not, when I was sending over tax map keys, photographs, evidence for planning to go out and enforce it, it wasn't being done. So I got upset saying, they got to be in cahoots. So I introduced a resolution for an investigation. I couldn't get the council support. So it never went. So that's the problem. If you want to fix stop fixing these things with Band-Aids. Yeah, that's a tough stand. That's a harsh stance. But if you want to fix the problem, you got to go after the problem and not the symptoms. You got to go after the problem. So vacation rentals, you go right at them. You go to the website, vacation rentals, Kauai Vacation Rentals, and you just go down the list. Everyone that isn't legal, you go after them. When we did the law in 2008, we made a very simple law. One of the sections in the law is every single vacation rental advertisement has to have their permit number. How difficult is it to enforce that? If you go on the VRBOs or those websites that solicit the vacation rentals on Kauai, many of them don't have the number. That's a violation. How simple, right? You go to the house, everyone has a registered agent on Kauai. And they get the ticket, they get the citation, they get the summons, they go to court, they pay the fine, you shut them down. That's how you fix the problem. You don't fix the problem by figuring out ways to make them legal. No, because those that followed the law, the old-time residents on Kauai that had the opportunity to turn homes into vacation rentals didn't because it was illegal. And the ones that broke the law, because they did it, they were able to come in under the grandfather clause. So now they're able to have this operations going, and our local residents lost out on that opportunity. So it's not fair. Totally not fair. And no one can tell me that these vacation rentals aren't creating problems in the communities. They are. They're destroying our neighborhoods. They're really turning our neighborhoods around. Where, remember when we used to know everyone in your neighborhood? That in many neighborhoods today on Kauai, that's not the case. You get new neighbors every week, and they have no respect for the residents on the street. They don't. They make noise. Cars go up and down the road. New people. I'm sorry. I'm just going through the comments to see if I'm missing anything over here. But yeah, anyway, I got a bunch of you guys join on. Mildred, Thomas, Belinda, Tina, Gabe, Carrie, Matt, Randy, beautiful. Darlene, Tamara, Jacqueline, right on. Let's see what else I got. Oh, I'm going to pop in this, some just Lihui Warrior basketball team golf tournament. If any of you golf and you want to get into a golf tournament, it'll be at the Hokuala golf tournament. It's our golf course. It's going to be on the March 2nd. It's $125 a player. If you guys want to golf and help out the cause, deadline is on the 22nd. So Stephanie Shino, I'm sure you guys have her on Facebook. If you don't, I think I shared it on my wall. Go to my wall, you'll see the ad or the post. But March 2nd, if you wanna golf, no handicap needed. Just go out there and have some fun on a nice course and support a local organization. Local, awesome. Golf. Something I haven't done in a long time. I think I'm going to go to the golf range tomorrow, though. All right. Okay, where else are we? Oh, how about Hoda? How's this one? Hoda Muthana from Alabama. Remember Hoda? She was a daughter. She was born in Alabama. She was a daughter of a diplomat from Syria, I believe. So she was born here, but, so normally when you're born in America, you get a birthright citizenship. So if you're born here, automatically, but that's not always the case. When you're born to a foreign diplomat, then it's not, you don't get that citizenship automatically. So anyway, a few years ago, she's in America all these years. 2014, she decides to join ISIS, and she leaves America, she joins ISIS, and she participates in many of these terrorist activities. And now she says, I made a mistake. I want to come back home. I want to come back to America. I made a huge mistake. And, it's been on the news. And, well, today, United States, Secretary of State decided that based after communicating and I guess meeting with the attorneys, said she has no legal right to come back to America because she never did get her American citizenship because of the status with the dad and as a diplomat. So, yeah, so we basically said, no, you cannot come back. And I know a lot of people were concerned because she has a little baby. But I think I got to agree with that stand that, you left this country to go work with an organization that is out to destroy America. And now you want to come back to America. I think I got to agree with that. And I just read up a little bit on it today. I'm going to read more on it, but I think at this point, I got to agree with the Secretary of State and say, hey, you left, you joined ISIS. Yeah, them people are bad people, and they've killed a lot of American people. And now you want to come back to America because hello, no, you stay right where you're at. And I'm sorry that you made a mistake, but that's one that I don't know if you can forget about and say, no, just come back to America. All your training, all years of training in the Middle East, No, we'll have you come back so you can organize a cell and create some havoc here in America. So, yeah, I got to agree with the Secretary of State and say, no, sorry, Hoda, you stay right where you're at. Unfortunately, you made a bad choice, but that choice costed you an opportunity to live in America, and I think that's rightfully so. Rightfully so. God, we got a bunch of you guys on. Thank you guys. Hey, feel free to. Oh, here we go. We got some. Standing water alongside the roadway will cause a pothole in the pavement because, yeah, exactly, Larry. It's not just fixing the road, fixing the shoulders is also critical and that's, again, one of the things we did wrong over the years is while we fixed roads, we let the shoulders go, creating that opportunity for the water to get under the pavement, the new pavement, creating more damage. So I think we got it covered. Okay, last item that I wanted to chat. And again, feel free to text something else. We got about 15 more minutes left. The rail audit. We talked about the rail audit. We talked about Councilmember Sunahiro introducing the resolution at Honolulu City Council to do a forensic audit of the rail, and got a lot of people nervous, got a lot of people squirming, a lot of politicians, a lot of contractors, a lot of consultants, a lot of people they started to sweat, and then so that got some traction. That got a lot of traction. A lot of people called out in support and said, "Yes, Councilmember Sunahiro, we support you." And I didn't speak to her personally, but I did have a text or a conversation, and I said, hey, stay strong, keep the faith, because you're going to get bombarded with a lot of crap from a lot of people. See, a forensic audit is going to expose all of the underhanded dealings that occurred in that project. And there's going to be some big names that'll pop up. So I am so happy that she pursued. But what's interesting is not long after her resolution started to get traction now, at the last time I was texting with her, she did not have any support from her colleagues at the time. I don't know where they stand today. But the public and the community got involved. People from outer islands were offering their support. Because I said, once they took the TAT money, they raised the TAT statewide and a full percent, and then all of those funds go over to rail, that became a statewide issue for me. That became a Kauai issue for me. That 1% could have come to Kauai for us to take care of our bathrooms and our roads, but no, it went to rail. What started off as a $5 billion project is now a $10 billion project, and it's still not built. We've gone through several executive directors on the HART board. There's just been a lot of red flags in that whole project. So now, after a couple of days and the traction is growing and the people are saying, yes, 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 we need the audit, all of a sudden the federal government comes down and issues some criminal or some grand jury subpoenas to HART and says, hey, we want to see all your documents. We want to see all your documents from day one. So more people started squirming. People are going nuts right now because when the feds get involved, well, we look at the Kealoha case on Oahu. So stealing stuff from a mailbox. Now it's drugs and corruption. And I mean, it's just like a movie. But so a lot of these people, and when they're sweating bullets right now, thinking, okay, oh my God, did we issue that contract properly? Did we do the necessary requirements for that bid? Did we overpay? All of these things are going through a lot of people's minds right now, and I love it. I love it because that is long overdue. And that audit, or that what the federal government is trying to do, I'm hoping that the city council continues and passes that resolution for the forensic audit, because I think you can have the parallel track because the feds are going to go much deeper. The feds will probably take a few years, 2 or 3 years, to get through all of the nonsense. But you're going to see, because people are going to start getting target letters like the Kealoha case. And people are going to start getting summoned and subpoenaed by the federal government to testify or for records for that audit investigation. But that shouldn't stop the council in Honolulu from moving forward. I've asked our county council here, I sent over a copy of the resolution from Heidi, Councilmember Sunahiro, and to go ahead and introduce a resolution supporting her resolution for an audit, because I do believe it affects Kauai. Today was a council meeting. I didn't see it on the council agenda, so we'll see if they go through. I hope they do. I hope Kauai supports that resolution, because it goes beyond. You see, corruption. It goes beyond a project. Once you find corruption in a project, then you find corruption in other projects. You find a pattern. That's the law enforcement mentality that I have. I just find it very hard to believe how that project grew so much in such a short period of time. And we're going to see. I like the way the art director said, "Oh, yeah, we're going to cooperate." Like, you don't have a choice, pal. You get a subpoena, a grand jury subpoena, federal subpoena. You don't have a choice. That, oh yeah, we'll cooperate. Of course you're going to cooperate, or you go to jail. I like the way they. Oh yeah, the mayor Caldwell says, yeah. Oh, I advise them to to cooperate. We're going to cooperate. Yeah, you don't have a choice, pal. You don't have a choice. I like the way they make it seem like they had a choice, but because we're good people, we're going to cooperate. No. When you get the subpoena, it's not an RSVP. It is turn over your documents. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I'm definitely going to be watching that closely because, like I said, it does impact our island. This whole legislative session this year is frustrating because I haven't seen much in the way of the relief for us here on Kauai. And we don't know yet. It's still early, and we'll see what kind of projects they come back. But I like the new projects. I like the money for new projects, but I really, really wish they would focus on the issues at hand, which for me right now is the homelessness and the affordable housing. The fact that the legislature wants to look at state lands for affordable housing, I think is very commendable, and I think they need to move forward on that. And I think the monies that were allocated for homelessness, I have not seen a penny come to Kauai yet, but those projects, those efforts need to really be expedited. Those are the issues that are impacting our families, our kids, and our kupuna. Those are the programs that I want to see our legislature work on. Not these pie in the sky dreams that, although may be important, are not as important as the fact that we got people sleeping on beaches and in bushes here on Kauai. Kids, we got people going to bed starving at night because they don't have money. They don't have a place to stay. To me, that's a priority. And then, under that, when you're talking about just the quality of life, the fact that it takes people an hour in the morning to get to work, hour and a half, to travel 7, 8, or 10 miles, the fact that these road situations have been going on for many, many years, and yet every time you open up the news or open a paper, the only thing we're talking about at the state level is rail. The outer islands belong to the state too. The outer islands pay taxes. Kauai contributes quite a damn bit to the visitor tax for the state to spend. So I really would like to see some kokua back from the state. It grew so fast because it existed for so long, and everyone involved is trying to find a way to cover their okoles. Oh, let me tell you, the okole covering is in full spin right now. I'm telling you, and this is just what I'm hearing is that a lot of people are worried. A lot of people are worried, and they should be, because maybe they could escape a forensic audit from the city and county. Maybe they could, but they are not going to escape the talons of the federal government. The federal government got involved for two reasons. Number one is they didn't want to be shown up, or they didn't want to be, they didn't want a little council member exposing the fraud or potential fraud on that project. Number two is the federal government has a lot of money in this project. A lot of money. And you saw California, they just canceled their bullet train project because it was costing too much. So they cut their losses. And now the government is saying, we're taking our money back. if that happens in Hawaii, which I honestly, I believe it will, you got to understand one thing. We have never had a good relationship between our state government and the Federal Transportation Agency because we did not spend the money that they gave us. And this I know firsthand. For all the trips that I've been up to Washington, D.C., meeting with the Federal Transportation Authority in different administrations, the common denominator was the same. I was asking for more money to build a highway on Kauai, and they were saying, spend the money we give you first. You go back and tell your state, spend the money that we give them before asking for any more. And that's when I found out, this was probably 3-4 years ago, that we had about $600 million in the coffers that we didn't spend in the transportation. You remember, Braille is not a state project; it's a county project. But if the state, if the federal government pulls out that money for the rail, and city and county and the state decides they want to move forward, we're all going to pay. We're all going to pay. So it does affect this island. It affects each and every one of us. And this audit is probably the best thing that could ever happen for that project. So I think I covered everything. Any more thoughts before I shut down? We got the rail audit. I love it. We got traffic. I mean, something that is, I don't envision until we open up inland roads, create alternate routes. It's just obviously not going to get any better. Jussie Smollett, Dingaling, Hawaiian Airfares, TSA Hari, Mokolele, everything good. We got everything covered. So I think we're good. Every Wednesday, 5:30 to 6:30, Facebook Live. I appreciate you guys joining. Every week we get more and more listeners, viewers. From here, I put this on my YouTube page. Go to my YouTube channel, Mel Rapozo. You'll see it archived, all the meetings on there. And we're going to start doing more and more. Like I say every week, I don't get it done, but you got to know that I look forward to this discussion every single Wednesday. It keeps me excited, keeps me energized. And you guys are super. You guys are great for joining us. But remember, YouTube, Mel Rapozo channel. If you haven't already, subscribe so you get notified every time we put a new video up there. I saw Lenny Rapozo's replacement on TV today. What happened to Lenny? Lenny he took the job at the convention hall director, so he's now the director at the convention hall. So they took care of Lenny, and he's there in civil service, so he'll be there for a while. Anyway, so YouTube, Mel Rapozo channel, Facebook Live every Wednesday, 5:30 to 6:30. If you folks have anything you want me to look at, explore, research, shoot me a message on Facebook. I'll get to it, and we'll cover it next week. Wednesdays, 5:30 to 6:30. Stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. We love you guys. Have a great, great Wednesday evening. Aloha.